For the Great Lakes is anything but great. Two of the mighty waterways are at their lowest levels ever recorded. A decade of below normal rain and snow plus higher temperatures has caused Lake Huron and Lake Michigan to look more like great puddles.
This corner here, and then tried to drag it back out through that corner, and that's where that birdhouse is.
The DNR provided Fox 11 these photos. Youngsters, the 300-pound black bear was probably looking for
Continued today in Chad Critten's abuse trial. He is the man accused of starving his daughter, but his ex-wife testified she thought the girl would be safe with him. Jennifer, 30 years of treatment at the Department of Health. It is the maximum time allowed. Andreas was found not guilty by reason of mental disease.
Just wanted to apologize to my family, Chris, and Troy and John, and everyone involved. I wish we could just go back in time and undo all this if we can.
Andreas' brother-in-law, who was the victim of the incident, says the treatment time is too long. But other family
numbers show that Wisconsin ranked third in the number of alcohol-related boat
30-year
deaths.
fishing vet says it happens here once or twice in a season, including last weekend.
I was told, from the folks that are ice fishing out here.
Are back on U.S. soil and will return to northeast Wisconsin Friday afternoon. A year ago, these soldiers returned to the U.S. last week from Afghanistan. They are currently demobilizing in Mississippi. Workers at EAA say they expect about 1,000 people to be at the Welcome Home celebration, and of course there will be plenty of emotion.
The atmosphere, of course, is much different in a send-off than it is in a welcome home for obvious reasons.
I'm Sheriff David Clark, and I want to talk to you about something personal. Your safety. It's no longer a spectator sport. I need you in the game. But are you ready? With officers laid off and furloughed, simply calling 911 and waiting is no longer your best option. You can beg for mercy from a violent criminal, hide under the bed, or you can fight back. But are you prepared? Consider taking a certified safety course and handling a firearm so you can defend yourself until we get there. You have a duty to protect yourself and your family. We're partners now. Can I count on you?
The safety message brought to you by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office.
Walker today rolled out some of the first specifics of his new state budget.
Political reporter Jessica Art tells us how he and other lawmakers are planning a new focus on mental health. The County Association, Governor Walker rolled out a new plan to invest in mental health funding.
Boy Scout spokesman telling NBC News that the national organization may soon reverse its long-standing policy of banning homosexual scouts and scout leaders. Boy Scouts of America Board of Directors is now considering a change in that policy that would remove
Out of a job this morning after being accused of slapping a crying toddler and using a racial slur while aboard a Delta flight. Joe Ricky Hunley was charged with assaulting a minor after the February 8th flight, and on Sunday, the Idaho Aerospace and Defense Company where Ricky works said he was no longer employed.
At 6:34 p.m., Emeryville County Fire received a report of a tour bus that rolled over on Highway 38 above Medzone and below the town of Forest Falls. We have units on scene right now from Emeryville County Fire, CAL Fire, and multiple surrounding agencies. At this time, I can confirm multiple fatalities.
New York on Thursday, November 29th, workers, labor activists, and their supporters launched a campaign to unionize some of the city's thousands of fast food.
Detroit, there's a massive pileup stretching nearly a mile out there.
Was fired in retaliation for reporting police abuses. It lists the names of a dozen officers threatening to fund $50 million, ranks as the second largest in Powerball.
At least 130 human sacrificial skulls dating back approximately 1,200 years.
The diamonds were transferred from a Britain's warehouse on the edge of the airfield to the cargo doors of a Zurich-bound aircraft. At that moment, two vehicles carrying up to 8 men, one marked as a police van, crashed
crashed through the perimeter fence. The men were heavily armed. Within minutes, they joined the hole and were leading through the same hole in the fence with over $50 million of diamonds.
Announcement today. It should be noted that Pope Benedict XVI was one of the oldest popes to be elected when John Paul II died in 2005. However, he has said today, I do not.
5 men accused of the gang rape and murder of a 23-year-old
The EU police agency Europol says it has arrested more than 100 people suspected of people smuggling. That says the discovery of horse meat disguised as beef converted in the Vatican's emergency summit has been convened to races on to find the source of one British minister an international criminal conspiracy.
This little atmospheric intruder over Russian airspace made it nearly impossible for DA-14 to top its performance later today. It lit up the Russian sky, mostly broke apart during descent. I say mostly because windows were blown out, fragments did hit the ground, and 400 people have been injured.
This news agency that a tsunami has actually been generated, so obviously
the U.S. Air Force is flying French troops and equipment into the West African nation of Mali. Pentagon spokesman George Little says as of Tuesday, the Air Force had flown 5 C-17 sorties into Mali.
Kansas City High School will start testing its students for drugs and alcohol abuse. Rockhurst High School implemented mandatory and random drug and alcohol testing for all students.
Love to see Secretary Clinton become the nominee for president in 2016.
That was Nancy Pelosi in April, hoping for a Hillary Clinton run for the presidency in 2016.
And where a call for action can now be heard coming all across America. I'm here today because the time has come for common sense, comprehensive immigration reform.
I'm very grateful to President Obama for nominating me and entrusting me with this important responsibility.
Sean Boyd has been, of course, following this gun debate every step of the way at the Capitol. And Sean, some sheriffs have said they won't enforce those new laws.
Jim, they say they are unenforceable. They call their lawsuit a line in the sand. While the lawmaker behind the gun measures, Representative Rhonda Fields, says she's confident the court will uphold the laws. Either way, it's clear the gun debate here is far from
1,000. The average federal employee is roughly 70,000.
So Thursday morning, North Korea is again making threats about a nuclear attack on American soil.
U.S. forces here and in South Korea remain at the ready in the unlikely event that such an attack would happen, but there's also new efforts to defuse the tense situation between the countries.
That we were working on. I had a number of conversations with leading Libyan officials. I went to Libya in October of 2011. In fact, shortly before the attack on Benghazi, we approved Libya for substantial funding from a joint state DoD account for border security, CT capabilities, and WMD efforts. So,
پروازهای زیادی داشته در عملیاتی که در پاکستان انجام شده. خیلی از درگیری ها رو این حکومت هدایت کرده.
That's why last month I asked Joe to lead an effort along with members of my cabinet to come up with some concrete steps we can take right now to keep our children safe, to help prevent mass shooting.
Airplane that can fly day and night took off from Moffett Federal Airfield in California this morning. It's called the Solar Impulse, and over the next couple months, it's going to fly across the U.S. and land at JFK
This is
International
iWatch.
Airport.
It's the perfect companion for your iPhone or iPad. With your iWatch, you can check the meter everywhere. You can also connect your iWatch to your iPhone. You can explore through the photos and videos to be one of them on the wall. It's time to change the time. It's time to have an
Google's Motorola Mobility unit will lay off 1,200 employees. That's more than 10% of the company's workforce, as it looks to cut costs. The Wall Street Journal reports the latest cuts are in addition to the 4,000 job cuts that were announced last August.
Iceland, a proudly progressive country, is working towards passing a ban on firearm porn. Now, some people consider this censorship. Others believe that this is a step in the right
Fair
direction.
Conductive. We make an electrically conductive paint. And at Maker Faire here, we're just launching our new
free
pen.
market after the Internet Music Service posted better than expected results after the close Thursday. The Internet Music Service also announced that its CEO plans to step down.
France's first case of the novel coronavirus was confirmed on May 8th in a 65-year-old man.
It's taking their own tissue and encouraging the body to fix itself. So there's no ethical concerns about it at all. It's very similar to doing a plastic surgery tissue transfer or doing saving some of your blood.
We have big news about that young Pakistani girl who inspired people around the world. 15-year-old Malala Yousafzai was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman simply because she believes girls have the right to go to It's the only way that we will get him out.
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Get it up. First shot, hip strap, walk out. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and
the tornado right here. You can see it right here moving to the east. As we pan across here, you can see this coming in from earthly and back into that transit city. We got three different people.
Okay, I'm right here by you.
Okay, let me talk to you here a little bit. Hang on. 159th Street in May. Large tornado. All over current. Give out money.
Stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds.
I know we're not.
On for my town. Trust me, I'm my INDEPENDENT.
Let's go. Listen.
Chasing dreams since I was 14.
Listen to the roar.
Across that city with the back. Crush shit. Labels out here. Now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people. Spread it across the country. Labels out here. Now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people. Spread it across the country.
Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us.
The gas company called that they we're hearing they have had information about why it's hit. Clearly they knew something was wrong because so many people could smell the gas there. So that's what's
I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised.
North Korea's young leader
Stop me.
ordered
Go
his
hard like I gotta
military
eat it in my
Friday,
heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like I gave a little speed to a great white shark on shark beat raw. Gonna go up, gone, deuces goodbye. I got a world to see. And my girl, she wanna see Rome. See so make you a believer now. I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people now. Sing the song.
Orange County Sheriff's Office says he was conscious and breathing when he was transported to Dr. Woods Hospital Tuesday night. This is the same place where a child drowned less than a month ago. The drowning happened May 15th.
Sarah Griggle, the mother, was shot and killed by the suspect at approximately 1 a.m. on the morning of the 19th as she slept. 9-year-old Zephaniah was awake, distraught, and was killed shortly after that by the suspect. It appears that Angelina, the 2-year-old, was killed while sleeping. Jael, the 5-year-old girl, was killed and awake at the time of her killing. Sorry.
The championship cast on the heads of the Cardinals.
Coming out in the NBA, former Harvard Westlake basketball star Jason Collins becomes the first current openly gay athlete in U.S. professional sports.
Oh, there's the shot right there for free. From outside during this tournament.
Ware just took the shot. Oh my goodness. That is a gruesome looking injury to Kevin Ware.
Look at his teammates' reaction to it.
He's dislocated some portion of his leg there, Jim.
My last bone marrow aspiration, and by the way, ouch, I lost count how many I've had, but the last bone marrow test showed no abnormalities. Yay! My doctors are waiting for this information to be able to tell me that I can begin the process of returning to the anchor chair. I'm coming home.
Instead of her life. I read a lot of comments to the effect of R.I.P. Angelina Jolie's moves. People talking about how they respect her decision, but how they'll miss her courage.
I have one request.
Speculating. We've all fought, kicked, scratched to get this network up to 50.
Now we have to keep it there. Jimmy, don't let it slip into 6. We're counting on you. We're counting on
Her first official public appearance since her Caribbean baby move. The tanned and healthy-looking Duchess of Cambridge showed off her growing baby bump during a visit to a residential treatment center. We're done?
Lindsay Lohan's informed so often the cafeteria has named a sandwich after her.
They don't let you eat there?
No, that's okay.
Here, the momentum shifted. How did you guys do it? All right, Jim, how could it be any other way? And we talked to our guys.